We are here with Bill Whittle of Pajamas Media, formerly of Eject. Well, first thing I want to ask you is the BlogCon itself. What have you thought of it so far?
It's a real small gathering, which is nice. Usually you come out to Washington, you go to something like CPAC where there's, thousands of people. So it's the size of it means everything's accessible, but obviously the real thrill is you get a chance to meet face-to-face people who you've admired, for me, my entire, political life. Guys like Iowa Hawk and my buddies Scott Ott and Steve Green, who I work with every single week on Trifecta for 2 years now, but I've really only met in the flesh one time before. Melissa Clothier and John Hawkins and Gateway Pundit, everybody else here. So it's nice to be able to put a face on the people you read all the time.
Now, Glenn Reynolds, in an interview with me 5 years ago for an old podcast I used to do for my company, described being an A-list blogger as like a champion bowler, where in a certain group of people, it's like being a rock star, and then you walk out on the street and Now, a lot of the people here would consider you a rock star. Your post on the pyramids versus a 7-Eleven, and your post on the conspiracy theories and such, and the 8 units sold, which I can't find. I got to find where that is in your archives. That's some of the best things I've ever read on the net, and I just love it.
Very kind of you.
Is it strange to have people come up to you, especially people that you might have read and thought, this person's a good writer, to just look at you as if you were, well, not quite Raquel Welch, but as if you were Spencer Tracy walking in the room?
Well, I'm certainly not a Spencer Tracy, and it doesn't matter what size of the pond. One of the advantages to being on television is that when you're a writer, when I was writing under Eject, I'd be as anonymous as everybody, but since I've taken my writing to video, my face is a little more attached to the work I'm doing, so I suppose that's probably the cause of it. It's always nice to be recognized and congratulated and complimented. It's a special kind of nice when it's from people who you admire and respect very much. I think Iowa Hawk, of all the people I've read, and I have enormous respect for most everybody in this business, but of all of the people I've read, Iowa Hawk is the only certifiable genius that I've ever met. And so hearing him say that he's a fan, because he can write a parody. A lot of people can write parody, but he'll write a parody in Shakespearean format that's perfect, and then as Chaucer, and then as Homer, and the amount of just raw knowledge you have to do that. The guy's remarkable. So that's a big thrill. One day, I was out at a hockey game. I was at a Kings game at the Staples Center, and I was just sitting there eating a hot dog, watching the Kings, and I turned around and these people were staring at me, and they said, "Are you Bill Whittle?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "We love your work." And when that's the only time, by the way, not like this happens to me all the time, but when you're recognized in public like that, it's really nice. And it's really unfair, because I really do think that so many of the people who are doing this great blogging deserve to be recognized, and if they would be in videos, I'm sure they'd be recognized as much as I am.
Now, Pajamas Media, a lot of people will say, "Oh, this is just another thing. Oh, this isn't going to work." It's become a really solid source of great information. It's a cliche to ask this, but are you proud to be as involved in it as you are?
Yeah. When I started there, I was a writer, and I'd had a lot of TV editing experience. My day job, while I was writing all the essays at Eject, was as a TV editor. So I hadn't done any on-camera stuff. I've never had any on-camera experience. So they just said, go ahead and give it a try. They've let me do whatever I wanted to do. It gave me tremendous opportunities, and I'm very, very grateful. And I work with great people, not just the people that I work with on camera, or at least in front of the camera, guys like Andrew Clavin and Zoe and Alsanya and all those other guys. But the production crew there is really terrific, so it's a real honor to be a part of it.
Has the mainstream media recognized Pajamas Media for what it is and for what it does, or when you walk into the room, do they kind of give you the look, so to speak?
I don't get much time with the mainstream media. I don't think that PJTV's been recognized as much in the mainstream media as it deserves, but on the other hand, the whole purpose of PJTV is to be something that's an alternative to the mainstream media, so I personally don't lose a lot of sleep over that particular issue. I mean, the main thing is to get at least the other side of the story out, and we seem to be doing that.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and for anyone listening who has not read those 3 stories specifically, and I can't remember the titles, but look for the Pyramids versus the 7-Eleven, look for the conspiracy theory, and look for the one, how many units we have sold, and it 8. That one, you will smile at all of these.
I would tell you what they're called, but the titles I come up with for them are not the titles that they save them under. I usually have a 1 or 2 word title that I like, and then they put a different headline title up there, and I just don't remember what those are, but thank you very much. It's very kind of you to mention.